Hi, I'm Arkush for the Chicago Sun-Times with our Super Bowl preview. It's Super Bowl 48, the #1 offense in the NFL with the Denver Broncos, #1 defense in the NFL with the Seattle Seahawks. This has only happened 5 times in the history of the Super Bowl. In the prior 4, the defense has won 3 times. There's another remarkable stat about this game. This is just the second time since 1993 that both #1 seeds in the playoff, the AFC #1, the NFC #1, have made it to the Super Bowl. Second time was just 5 years ago, the 2009 season, when New Orleans and Indianapolis with Peyton Manning were the #1 seeds. You know, we look at this game, everybody knows about the Legion of Doom, Legion of Boom, the secondary of the Seattle Seahawks. Everybody knows about Peyton Manning and those 5 remarkable receivers he's going to throw the football to. So let's flip it around and look at where this game could really be decided. I think it's about the Seattle offense, which quite frankly isn't very good, and the Denver defense, which is a little better than people realize. Offensively, Seattle, it's all about Marshawn Lynch. Will he go into beast mode? They're going to pay, ground and pound. There's no question about that. Russell Wilson, the first quarterback in the history of the NFL to have a passer rating over 100 in each of his first 2 seasons, but he has not been playing good football the last 5-6 weeks. If you watched the NFC title game, he airmailed some throws that he normally hits right out there all over the football field. The passing game is not in sync. The Seahawks will get Percy Harvin back. How much of a factor can he be? That remains to be seen. The Seahawks are probably too one-dimensional for a Denver defense that is better than people realize. There's not a lot of household names on this Denver defense since Von Miller went down. Champ Bailey will play, but he's over the hill, and he has not been 100% healthy all year long. They've lost their best defensive linemen in Derek Wolfe and Kevin Vickerson to injury. But what about Pot Roast? Yeah, that's his name, Pot Roast. It's Terrence Knighton. They got him at the beginning of the season, signed him away from the Jacksonville Jaguars because he's always had a little bit of a fitness problem, a little bit of a weight problem. Sometimes he's tipped the scales as high as 400 pounds. We don't think he's that high right now, but if you saw him in that AFC title game, if you've seen him in the playoffs, for a big man to move the way he does and make the plays that he's making, he can be a difference maker. Now, let's just be honest about this. Yes, all the All-Pros are on the Seattle defense and on the Denver offense. I don't know how to split those 2 groups. They're all going to make big plays. I'm sure Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas will show up. They're not going to shut down Peyton Manning. They're not going to take away Demaryius Thomas. The question is, will the other units, the one nobody's talking about, be the difference when the 2 great ones cancel each other out? I've got a sneaking suspicion they do. Now, I've never seen a game where I've changed my mind more often, pretty much every day since the matchup was set, as to who's going to win this one, but we all have to make a pick. And what it comes back to for me is I think the Denver Broncos, with marginally more experience, here's one other fun stat for you. This is the first time since 1990 that there's been a Super Bowl team with no Super Bowl experience. Nobody on the Seattle Seahawks has ever been to the Super Bowl. What makes that more interesting? The Broncos have only got 2, but one of them is Peyton Manning and one of them is head coach John Fox. That may be just enough familiarity and awareness of what goes on here, able to prepare better, able to make key decisions when the lights go on. I like the Broncos, and possibly one of the best Super Bowls we've ever seen. Going to be a ton of fun. Now let's just hope the weather cooperates. For the Chicago Sun-Times, the only place to get your sports is chicagosuntimes.com. It'll do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.